Welcome to Breathe California TV. I'm Terry Trumbull. Each week we present a program, usually preventative. My personal complaint is that the health-based field is far too oriented towards helping you after you're sick and not doing enough beforehand. So hopefully our guest all-star Lindsey Renfro will provide all sorts of great ideas on things to do to stay out of trouble. We'll be talking to her after this public service announcement. Come back in 30 seconds.
It's given me a chance to go out and be with people who has the same problem. And it helps you to manage your life better too, because you hear different things from each person, and it's just been really helpful in many ways.
Welcome back. This is Breathe California TV. Breathe California is the lung health organization for the state of California. We have 5 chapters. The San Jose chapter also serves the Monterey Bay area. And each year we serve about 150,000 people, meaning helping them cope with any of 13 different lung diseases, including COVID, which I just recently finished going through. Don't envy you, other than if you wanted to sleep a lot. So our guest today is Lindsey Renfro, who's from the BSI group. So that's been blessed by the Queen of England. Tell us a little bit about yourself, Lindsey.
Hi, Terry. Thanks for having me today. Yes, my name is Lindsey Renfro. I am a principal consultant and a social responsibility champion here at BSI. I have a degree in chemical engineering, and I've been with the organization for 17 and a half years. Prior to joining BSI, I worked with a regulatory agency enforcing environmental rules and regulations from the aspect of air permitting and compliance. I am part of our EH3S Consulting Services. That stands for Environmental, Health, Safety, Security, and Sustainability. I'm part of that stream of our business, where we enable our companies to assess and manage risk, protect their employees, preserve the environment, to be socially and globally responsible and achieve sustainable environmental, social, and economic value. We partner with our industrial clients to consult or advise on a variety of things such as environmental permitting and compliance, sustainability, workplace safety, industrial hygiene, ergonomics, cybersecurity, information solutions, and much, much more. My primary focus here at BSI has been to assist our industrial clients with navigating the complexities of local and state and federal regulations associated with air permitting and compliance. BSI was founded as the Engineering Standards Committee in London in 1901. You said the Queen had blessed us, so we are founded.
Back then it was probably King Edward, if I'm guessing.
Yes, so very, yes. Since then, subsequently, it's extended into like standardization work, and it became what they call the British Engineering Standards Association. And then adopting the British Standards Institution, or the BSI name, in 1931 after receiving the Royal Charter in 1921. So that's where the whole Royal Charter comes in. I like to tell people that I work for the Queen of England, but I don't get invited to tea time or weddings. So, but yes, we are a Royal Chartered organization. If you fast forward to today, after all of that history, we service our clients with a range from high profile brands to very small business in 193 countries around the world. So I am very privileged to work in such a large organization that has really high standards for our employees, to be resilient and to advise our companies that we work with.
So you're a little bit closer. If I recall, you're in Austin, Texas.
Yes, I am in Austin, Texas. That is correct.
So how do you serve California clients?
So myself and our team of air permitting and compliance folks, as well as the larger environmental team that I work with nationally, while we sit in certain places throughout the US, we service our clients nationally. So I sit here in California, but I sit in Texas, but support our clients in California by knowing those rules and understanding the rules and regulations, helping our customers do emission calculations, put together air permit applications, get through regulatory inspections and investigations when you have an investigator come out to the location. So while I sit here, I can either get on a plane with a bag and go, or I can do work remotely with a great team of practitioners that I work with here at BSI.
So as an environmental studies professor here in Santa Clara County, I had an outstanding student named Michelle White, now Michelle Stifel, who produced this show for a couple of years and said you'd be great. Where's Michelle now for you? She works for you, presumably in California?
Yes, she doesn't work directly for me, but I do work with her. We collaborate on projects, and she is in California. I got the privilege of visiting with her at the end of last year. I think that's when I was out there. So yes, Michelle and I do collaborate on environmental work as need be. So she does sit in California and I sit in Texas, but we work well together. Yes.
So in terms of sustainability, how wide a range? Normally I think of that in environmental terms, but I'm reading a very well-regarded book called Always Day One by Alex Kankrovich, and it's an analysis on how Silicon Valley companies believe that they need to eat their young to stay alive. This originated with Steve Jobs said that if we're not putting ourselves out of business, we're not functioning well. Do you do that kind of work? When I say you, I mean BSI.
Yes. So BSI does have an arm in sustainability. So sustainability, like the definition of sustainability, is leveraging environmental and social innovation to deliver exceptional business performance. And so we help our clients on the sustainability side, specifically with my part of the organization under the environmental umbrella. That all ties right back into sustainability. And let's just talk about maybe stormwater compliance right now. When you are monitoring stormwater discharge from your facilities and you are looking at the pollutants, right? You're participating in the sustainability of the environment off property. So making sure that what pollutants are coming out off of your site are not impacting off-site environment. So we're trying to sustain the environment by just a regulatory program, an environmental program. Same thing with spill pollution and prevention. Same thing with air permitting and compliance. We're trying to control our emissions to a certain level where we're trying to sustain the environment. So just doing environmental permitting and compliance is part of the sustainability practice in general. And there's also the social component of that as well. And we have a whole great part of the organization that does the full umbrella or the full gambit of sustainability support for our customers.
So at the risk of attempting humor here, you missed on the most important thing about stormwater for us in California. We need to have some.
Oh, you need some rain to make that happen. Yes, I'll send it that way.
Yeah, well, if you have any control, we'd be more than happy to take one of those Texas hurricanes here, because our history is Mark Twain, when he was a writer here, said, "Whiskey's for sipping, water's for fighting." And I think everybody from the middle of the country west, that's each of those states battles over water are the biggest thing that's in California. It's dominated our whole history.
Yeah, that
Just
we have a whole hurricane season where we prepare and whatnot for the rains coming in. So
we are getting the same amount of water when there's 150,000 people as there are when there's 40 million now. So it's an ongoing problem where we need more creativity than our water districts seem to want to show. So profitability, supply chain issues, you would view those within BSI's consulting areas?
yes, we do. We also do have a group of talented individuals that support the supply chain, providing advice, looking at the larger supply chain in general. We look at threats that could be potentially affecting the supply chain and advising on our customers that have come to us to support the supply chain component of things. And I think we've all seen, there's been change in pricing, right? We've seen the dollars go up, and then also trying to just get things done because there is an effect in the supply chain right now where delivery is an issue. And so it is affecting a lot of businesses and just projects in general being able to move forward because there is some issues happening in the supply chain right now. And we do also support that as well.
So about 15 years ago, Prince Charles invited me to an environmental conference that he put on in San Francisco. There were just 80 of us that got princely invites. And it was most excellent on highlighting the environmental problems that the world faces. Is he still active doing that?
I don't know. I can't answer that question. Unfortunately, I don't know all the ins and outs of who's participating in what. I certainly wish I did. And maybe having a different seat at the table, I'd have some visibility to that. But unfortunately, I just don't know the answer to that question.
Have you seen in your work any effects of the Russian-Ukraine war?
Not me personally, but we do have some offices that were affected, BSI offices and employees and projects that were affected by that. And I know that we had to make some business changes due to that. But as far as anything that I or my team has been directly working with, it has been strictly in the US. And so we haven't seen much effect on our day-to-day because of that.
So every time I talk to a friend here in California, we're all aghast at how poor both US government and US industry is on cybersecurity. It seems like they've left the door wide open to get their businesses or government screwed up by hacking. I taught at Santa Clara for 23 years and they had their entire set of records stolen and paid $5 million out to buy them back. And it would just seem in this world where we had Republican hacks in the 2016 presidential election and perhaps more that are less visible in 2020. Is that an area that your BSI is helping people with?
Yeah, absolutely. So we do have a stream of the business that supports cybersecurity where we do penetration tests and all kinds of stuff like that. And it is very interesting work. I work on the environmental side. I don't see all of the solutions side of the house, but we do support the cybersecurity aspect of businesses where we are evaluating, such things as that as trying to see like how how easily can certain databases and other platforms be hacked. So yes, we do support that here at BSI for our industrial clients.
So do you work with OSHA?
I don't directly, that is the safety side of the house. So when we talk about EH3S, so I sit on the environmental and the E part of it, and then there's health and safety. So our health and safety component of the business does work with OSHA, and OSHA is the Occupational Safety and Health Administration. For those of you not talking alphabet soup, I'm sure Terry and I could make alphabet soup all day long in conversation. But that organization, OSHA, is an agency of the United States Department of Labor, and that originally had federal powers or to inspect and examine workplaces, and that's to like ensure safe and healthful working conditions for employees. And so we have a whole organization or a whole stream of business here at BSI that does support health and safety with our clients, as far as making sure that they're in compliance with OSHA rules and regulations, and then just helping to make sure that our clients have a safe work environment for the employees to come to day to day. And by setting up, we help set up programs, we help people through investigations, all kinds of things to support compliance with safety rules and regulations.
So I think we'll go to a public service announcement now, and then I want to talk to you about audits when we come back. So
sure,
be patient.
What it feels like to have an asthma attack is, well, you can't breathe and you can't tell anybody that you're having an asthma attack because you can hardly talk. You can maybe say 1 or 2 words, but you can't say much else. Breathe California has helped me come in contact with more asthmatics and more people who have the same case as I do. It's important to me because I don't feel like I'm alone in the fight against asthma.
Welcome back. This is Breathe California TV. If you want to help us help everybody else who has some sort of breathing problem with their lungs, 25% of the students in our county are using vaping equipment to be able to get through the day. What I mean by that is aerosol that will solve their breathing problems. But back to this, one of the things that your notes impressed me with was audits. When I was the general counsel of a firm that did 200 million a year of business, we had 33 businesses. And I sent our environmental manager out to do audits so that we can identify problems before the regulators. That sort of thing that BSI does?
Yes, absolutely. So we do auditing for EH3S, environmental health and safety, to pick your scope. So we do audits. We do audits that will go through rules and regulations that are applicable to a location and find gaps so that the business has an opportunity to close the gap for compliance. We do those at the request of our customers, and then before like an investigation or an inspection could arise with a regulated body. And we also come back in and do audits when there is a regulatory issue that arises. Say a regulatory body has come in and conducted an inspection and they found a finding. We will come in and assist with that finding and then do subsequent audits, or I guess if you will, inspections, right, ourselves, so that we can further assist them with coming into compliance with those gaps. If you're looking for like an environmental audit, we will come in and look for compliance with air water, waste regulations, and other regulations that could be applicable to the location. Same thing from a safety perspective, we'll come in and look at the OSHA regulations, fire code that falls under the health and safety umbrella, if you will, at BSI. So yes, we do audits to help our clients close those compliance gaps.
Yeah, I view that as critical. I was the chief judge for the Bay Area Air Quality Management District for 15 years, and state of California rules said that you couldn't get a variance unless you were in compliance with the regulations. And I really thought companies would be better served by going out and doing their own audit before something happens than wait. And we would hear from inspectors saying they weren't in compliance.
Yeah, Terry, one of the things that we recommend is a third-party audit when we start talking about compliance, because when you work at a facility, you're there every day, you're so close to it, right? And so you start seeing only what you see day to day. So when you get that third-party audit going, then you have a different set of eyes. We are not on site every day, so we come in with a clear view, right, with a clean slate to come in and assist our customers with finding those gaps, just because we're not there every day. So, and also one of the other things that we found is that when we go to our clientele and we are doing these audits, sometimes our contacts, while they have the EHS title, right, he or she is a EHS manager, a lot of the times they will have a background primarily in one of the three, right? Environmental, health, or safety. Right. So if they are specialized in health and safety, the environmental aspect tends to get a little less attention, or vice versa, right? If the EHS manager has an environmental background, the health and safety side will tend to have a little bit less attention. And so what we do is we come in and we partner and we advise, consult, so that we can close the gap on any of those misses.
Yeah, I mean, a prize example of what you're talking about is this 200 million a year company had food services, and they had employees come in to clean, and they did not train them adequately in the hazardous chemicals they were using to clean up. They ended up being fined pretty heavily for the amount of injuries that they were getting off of employees.
Yeah,
so
absolutely.
The last thing I wanted to ask you about is purchasing practices. What sort of things would BSI do to help a company there?
I'm sorry?
Purchasing practices.
And can you clarify a little bit about purchasing practices?
Well, I'm not quite sure where you guys go with it, but California has a number of laws relating to what you can or can't buy, or the company may have its own practice procedures and not have reviewed them at all. This isn't so much a government issue as it is just a issue of how the company goes about buying things.
Our group doesn't particularly participate in the purchasing process of chemicals or supplies, but it is certainly something that we can assist with, but we don't typically assist or identify or help the customers identify things that they can and can't purchase. What we do help with is if they have made a purchase, we assist with how it should be handled, how it should be managed, if we have to waste certain things, how is one to go about the waste process. If it does emit, how do we get the proper air permitting or exemptions for those? So while we don't participate in the actual purchasing process, we do assist with the other side of that, which is the compliance component of that.
So our state attorney general in the last week has sued 5 or 6 big companies for fraud and saying that they were recycling things that they weren't. We have a bottle bill law, which 15 other states have, that say we're buying back cans and bottles, and companies have been saying they're recycling them, but it turns out the plastic bottles almost entirely get returned to landfills rather than reused. So I don't know if he's going to make any difference, but he's certainly trying to do so.
And Terry, that's one of the things that we also that we assist with is the recycling programs, right? At our customer sites is setting those programs up, and then figuring out, where they're
program.
Going. I'm sorry.
Sunnyvale's program. What do you do for Sunnyvale? Just to stick my nose in it, I suspect you're talking about my garbage.
Oh no! And I haven't participated particularly in setting up any of those programs at Sunnyvale, but we do assist our customers with setting up recycling programs that are compliant with local rules and regulations, and also training staff to comply with recycling programs that are regulated. So it is near and dear to our hearts, right? The environmental component of this, because that's where I sit. And so, yes, we absolutely help with setting those programs up.
Yeah. So I was the state garbage man for 6 years under Governor Brown, and started the curbside recycling in San Jose, Sunnyvale, Palo Alto, Los Altos, number of the communities. The Sunnyvale MRF, multi-material recycling facility, handles all the garbage from 6 cities, including Palo Alto and Mountain View and anything to the north of it. So what else did I forget to ask you about? We're getting short on time at this point.
I don't know. You've done a really good job at drilling me with some questions here. So I think we've about covered it. I just want to, remind your viewers, that I am with BSI. BSI is a wonderful organization to reach out to help industrial customers and be compliant with environmental health, safety rules and regulations. Terry, I believe our contact information, you've posted that here today. Right. You can please reach out, do research on our website, give us a call if you work for a industrial location that could use some consultant support. We'd be more than happy to support and consult and advise and partner with you on any projects.
The BSI website seems remarkably complete to me. I was able to just take one page of it and turn it into enough questions to ask you.
There's a lot of information. We do a lot. Like I said, we are a global company, worldwide. So California, hey. Texas, Australia. I want to go to Australia. So if you've got any Australian viewers.
So I'll send you an email telling you when this show is going to run. Roughly 2 weeks from tonight.
Okay, great.
Thanks again, Lindsey.
Thank you so much.